Let's queer up trans rights. Why Montana's Two-Spirit people are challenging a state law that defines sex as binary. As they fight to reclaim their history, some in Montana's Two-Spirit community are challenging a state law defining sex as binary because it infringes on their spiritual and cultural beliefs. The law defines male and female based on the presence of XY or XX chromosomes, as well as reproductive systems. The new law inserts those definitions of male and female in several parts of the state's legal code, impacting driver's licenses, demographic records, and the state's anti-discrimination law. Attorneys representing the Montana Two-Spirit Society, along with a group of transgender, intersex, and non-binary Montana residents, filled the challenge. They argue the state's definitions of sex improperly categorize many Montanans, exclude others from legal recognition entirely, and deprive them of the benefits and protections of myriad state laws. The complaint also argues the law violates Montana's dignity, equal protection, privacy, and freedom of speech laws. Two-Spirit is an umbrella term that emerged in the 1990s, referring to people in many Indigenous and Native Americans who historically had both a masculine and feminine spirit and who filled specialized social and spiritual roles. But some LGBTQ+ Native American people also use the term to self-identify. LGBTQ+ activists hope this will have national implications as the court rules on specific issues for Native religious and free speech claims, and how those court decisions could affect other states' laws. So this is kind of staying within the same category, I guess, as what we just spoke about with trans laws, rights. This feels more to me like an attack of freedom of speech right away, just right out of the gate. What do we think?
Well, you know, XX and XY, we have come to learn. I'm listening to you and I'm going, that must be very, very old.
Yeah.
Because if they only talk to a couple of doctors in those states, they'll find out that genetically that's not the way it works anymore, right? And we've known this for a long time now, and it's not binary, and XX chromosomes and XY chromosomes don't determine your sex and sexuality at all.
And well, not to mention the fact that you can have an XXY
well, exactly. Most people have XXYs and XYXs, and there's a lot of different things going on chromosomally. So the law may be just very old.
Not to mention Indigenous people and Native Americans both have always had a masculine and feminine kind of crossover when it comes to spiritual aspects and religious aspects. So why now?
And these are the leaders that are most in touch with the truth in those cultures.
I'm glad they're standing up. It's very, very important, and I'm glad they're standing up, and they're going to make them take another look. I'm hoping that it's just old information that's on a law that they can get rid of really quickly. And not
I think they said they're discussing it later in December, and then they'll go from there.
Well, and like they said, the Two-Spirit moniker is relatively new, that label. But as you said, they have existed probably longer than Montana has been a state.
Absolutely.
And certainly far longer than Montana has had legal codes.
Yeah.
So their history and presence deserves to be recognized.
Now, one thing that is interesting, when you look at the law and you think, well, they're talking about Two-Spirit, and they're talking about spirituality.
Right.
And the law is written based on old medical
science.
Old
science.
Yeah.
You're right.
And it's like, well, these two things aren't even, you know what I mean? It's like, they need to clean it up. Clean it up, man.
Yeah.
And as they clean up, I just want to put a little perspective on it. So we've got the state that passed a law. We've got tribal land that is sovereign. So basically they're looking to be recognized once they step off of the tribal land. But also, Native Americans are protected under a lot of federal code as well. So you've got a lot going on here. So I'm not a lawyer, and I do play one though on television like right now. But so we have to see how this works out. Will it be a federal case? Will it pass the state? This is going to be a long road. But I'm so happy to see our Indigenous LGBTQ+ 2S brothers and sisters coming out and starting to make this this progress. Because if you don't petition for progress never happens. You know, some tribes are moving towards marriage equality now because they weren't forced to do marriage equality, again, because it's sovereign land. So it's great to see our First Nations and our Indigenous people coming forward as pro their community.
And it would be nice to see them mix more in with general society, right? Because they're talking about when they leave their protected lands. And that would be nice to see a lot more Indigenous people in society, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, why should they just be kept in that one little piece of land?
In society as Indigenous people,
As Indigenous,
true to their heritage.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly,
Yeah,
fully.
because obviously
fully.
they're in society, but you're
Right.
talking about true to their heritage,
Right.
who they are.
Not just on the reservation.
Absolutely.
Society, like, why don't I see them in Publix? Come on.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Publix is trash.
Okay, no.